What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another 2021 new product videos, and today we're talking about SOG knives, and I have Alec here from SOG. Alec, how's it going?
Not too bad. About yourself?
I'm doing fantastic. You know, we were talking about a lot of these knives on the table before we got rolling here. There's a lot of exciting stuff that, I'm excited to get out to you guys. So let's just jump right into it. We have some releases for the near future and for some releases for a little bit farther, but still not too far out. So what's going on with the release cycle here, and what's kind of the first knives on the table?
Yeah, so we've got two major releases. We're going to start with the stuff that's in spring, starting with our LTE series, or lightweight series. We've got two main knives in this, sort of developed with user feedback in mind. It's going to be familiar for everybody, but the Terminus XR LTE. We got a lot of user feedback about having the grip angle being a little bit different, not quite liking the clip, liking the knife, but it was a little bit heavier than they'd like. So we swapped out the Terminus XR and now have the Terminus XR LTE. You still have the standard one if you want steel, but it's about 30% lighter weight, still as strong as it needs to be, and fantastic little knife. We're talking about it, and this is one of your favorites, and memory serves.
Yeah, so a couple SHOT Shows ago when the Terminus XR came out, I was super stoked about that knife, and I'm always a fan of taking a knife, making it lighter, doing all of that kind of simplifying to it. So I was super pumped about that to just see how much weight you guys have taken off of it.
Yeah, it's awesome. It's most apparent in my mind on the Kiku XR LTE. This is one of our knives that's marketed more towards outdoors, backpacking, hiking, etc., having a nice sturdy folder. But the main feedback that we got was the knife is great, but it feels a little heavy in my pocket. So we, again, 30% lighter weight. We now also have it in a blaze orange, which makes it easier to find when you put it down outside. Mm-hmm. G10 spacers, because they're actually surprisingly stronger than carbon fiber and still just as light. But one hand open, one hand close, still XHP. Great knife overall, too.
Yeah. Love to see some new entries, new lighter entries into the kind of the XR Lock series. The Kiku is also no exception to that. Great new entry. So you had the orange one, I have the black one here. Mm-hmm. So a few different color models. Love the new lightweight stuff. You have some different stuff as well coming out. What's going on with these pop sockets?
We do. So we're working with PopSocket to have a multi-tool sort of integrated into their Popgrip for it. It's the one that's not on the clear phone case, so it's easier to see. We're going to have this in 3 different colors, and it's just a nice little flat, slim form factor multi-tool. You're going to have a 1/4 inch and 5mm hex bit driver, so standard 1/4 inch hex bits fit in there. I know I use them with our hex bit kit just to tighten my knives if I need to throughout the day. Bottle opener and flathead screwdriver, all in one little flat unit. But one of the cool things about these is that they're actually magnetically retained. So you can actually just sit around and fidget. It's like the new version of clicking a pen, except the tool.
That's one thing I noticed about these too, is that they kind of have, again, that fidget factor. So it looks like you can put these in kind of every which way too, and it just kind of sticks on those magnets and retains it no matter, kind of which way you end up sticking these in the slot in the pop socket there.
Exactly.
I think I also noticed too, so it's not necessarily sharpened, but it's like it comes to a pretty acute angle here kind of within the bottle opener. So I feel like you could almost use that in a pinch to, open boxes and that type of thing too.
Absolutely.
So interesting stuff that's not necessarily a knife when it comes to SOG or SOG knives. So love to see that. Some different EDC-esque items that aren't just knives. So that's kind of what you guys got coming out for the near future. Some of this stuff will already be out when this video is out. Some of the stuff is coming very soon. But you also have kind of a big release coming July, correct?
Yes, exactly. So yeah, like you said, the LTE knives are dropping any day now. The pop sockets are coming out in April. But July is when we're doing a pretty thorough overhaul and refresh for our professional line. And starting with something that we've been asked to do many, many times, didn't want to do until we could do it in a way that made us satisfied. And that's actually an OTF.
I'm so excited about this. This has some cool tech in it that I'm excited to hear about.
Exactly. So the biggest thing about it is that we've got it without any rattle. We've all played with lots of automatic knives. Sometimes you just do this and it's almost like a little maraca. Mm-hmm. We didn't want to have that be with an automatic knife that we make. So we've got some proprietary technology in there. It's new for us. That eliminates that rattle, eliminates that blade wiggle, and it's fantastic. It's great to fidget with too.
So for kind of the people out there that aren't necessarily familiar with most OTFs with kind of how the mechanism works, when you deploy it, there's usually going to be some element of kind of blade play or blade wiggle. That's just kind of how the mechanism works. You guys are one of the few companies that have kind of figured out whatever, magic you have going on in there. You figured out how to lock that blade up so there's no blade wiggle or blade play in the open position. And is it, I guess, also in the closed position as well?
Exactly. I mean, we kept our engineers up for a long, long time, sort of a labor of love and exasperation at times, doing testing and retesting and develop. But that was the biggest thing for us, is that we wanted something that people deploying or using in a professional context could have with them and not just hear it every time you take a step, like you've got keys on your hip.
Yeah, perfect. I think one thing also to notice about this particular OTF is it is substantial in the hand, right? You have like nice, sturdy metal construction, and the action on this just, it feels solid.
Exactly. I mean, we've got mid aluminum handle scales, steel liners. It's a solid knife, and just it's an OTF. It's fun to just open, close, open, close, open, close. It's
for sure.
Great.
Awesome. So that is kind of the OTF you guys have coming out. You also have some interesting stuff when it comes to fixed blades. What's going on there?
So sticking with the Pentagon series, I'm sure you're familiar with our older Pentagon fixed blade. It had one side that was serrated, one side that wasn't, rubberized handle scales. Those have also gotten an update and overhaul with feedback from people carrying them who need them and need them to work properly in the way that they want them set up. So we've got Pentagon FX for fixed, and then we're also going to have Pentagon FX Covert, which is a smaller size for it. Still in the Pentagon family, still that nice double-edged dagger style, but much more customizable. On the Covert, you've got a sheath that's got a flat back for it, so if you want, you can put some Velcro on there and stick it to whatever you need. It also comes with just a nice clip on there. That's nice J-hook style clip, so it's not going to hop off your belt if you need it. And then for the full size, we've got a whole new sheath attachment system that we developed. It's all modular, so you can either you can have a retention strap on there if you want one. You can take it off if you don't. You've got MOLLE compatibility. You can have it on a drop leg. It's just, people want to carry their equipment the way that they want to carry their equipment, as opposed to the way that we think their equipment should be carried. So we're designing it so you can actually have it be set up the way you want it, right down to the retention on the sheath itself. We've got these little slider guys that you can actually push and then slide down to adjust the sheath retention. So if you want it to be a little bit easier to get at your knife, you can make it easier. If you want to make it harder, you can make it harder. And the last thing with this particular, with the fixed blades, is that all of those handles, so these nice fun handle scales with that nice fastener through there, or lanyard ring, are removable. So you can have a skeletonized style, nice and slim, nice and flat if you want. Or that makes it a little bit easier to carry around as opposed to having that nice big old knife in your pocket. You've got something that's just slim and sleek.
Customization is the name of the game when it comes to these. So if you can think up of a carry scenario that you want to do, you're probably going to be able to do it with these knives. Exactly,
and that was part of the major feedback that we've gotten. And we're actually going to start seeing, or at least you folks are going to start seeing this carry system on more of our fixed blades in years to come.
Yeah. So really like to see that. There's just a ton of options when it comes to carrying these things. I was playing around with them a little bit before we kind of started shooting here, and I think I just scratched the surface of the amount of options you have with these things. So really cool to see in the Pentagon series. Kind of last but not least, you got some new SOG-TAC knives.
Exactly. The SOG-TAC automatics have been a staple for us for a long, long time. Because they work. They're really, really good knives. But we also have gotten a lot of user feedback over the years about little things that people would like changed, updated, modified, what they love about the knives, what they don't like about the knives. So we decided, just like we did with our Flash Aegis and Trident last year, it's time that the SOG-TAC AUs got updated and brought into the modern day. So now we've got the SOG-TAC AU knives. These use our XR lock style. We've updated the mechanisms. We've got updated blade steels. These are going to be the Cryo D2 as well. Still aluminum, still incredibly thin, but we've got a nice grippy micro texturing on the aluminum, so it's not going to bite into your hand anymore, but it's still not going anywhere. And one of the biggest things for automatics is we've changed how the safeties work. As I'm sure you are intimately aware, people love having safeties on their knives.
Some people do, yes.
Some people do, and some people very much do not for it. So we used to have a safety on the back that you'd index with one finger and then deploy the knife. We've updated that completely. Now, essentially, we've got a secondary detent. If you can see that little red dot on there, all you have to do is just click this slider up over that, nice little clicky noise, and the blade is locked closed. But in a high tension situation, fine motor skills can go out the window. You still just grab that slider, pull hard, and the knife opens up.
I haven't seen anybody else do a safety like this. And I like the fact that you've thought about kind of situations in which you would actually use this knife. Because again, if you're in that high stress environment, you don't want to be, trying to index a safety with your hand that's different from how you would actually open the knife, right? So you can just grab and pull and you have that simplicity.
Exactly. It's the same motor skills in motion every single time. And like just about everything we're doing these days, it's fully ambidextrous. So it doesn't matter if you're dominant hand, non-dominant hand, right-handed, left-handed. Flip the clip if you want to carry it on your opposite side, or just use the knife in the hand that you're holding it with. We've got this in three different sizes, in multiple blade configurations. So we've got full size in clip point and tanto, both with combo edge or plain edge. We've got the compact style, so it's a little bit smaller. This is a sub 3-inch blade, if that's important to you. This is the tanto version. And then we're also having our ever popular and adorable California special for that with a sub 2-inch blade. This also will come in a tanto as opposed to the clip point.
I have to say I'm disappointed that I don't have that in front of me because that thing looks super cool.
It's fantastic. It's one of those ones that, just like when we released the California special before, it's like, oh, that's so cute. And then you open it and look at it, and with the guys that we've been talking to and developing these knives in concert with, it can get a little scary sometimes, exactly how useful this can be in the right hands.
Yeah. There's nothing wrong with a California legal length knife at all. They can do a lot of work.
Exactly. And without having to worry about, I don't know if you did scouts, but having the blood circle around it, slightly smaller blood circle.
For sure. You get a slightly smaller blood circle with a smaller blade. That is for sure. Awesome. Well, I think that's all the knives we have on the table. Dude, thank you so much for joining us and showing us kind of what you guys got in the works, in the not too distant future and maybe a little bit farther future. There's a lot of cool stuff. The OTF I'm super excited about. I really like the new SOG-TAC autos that you have. If you guys want to see kind of listings, specs, pricing, all that stuff, make sure you head over to bladehq.com. That's where you're going to be able to find out more information about these knives. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel and make sure you check out the playlist for all of these new 2021 product videos. And we will see you guys on the next one.